Hello there, how's it going? My name is June and this is my first recording of the book Python Crash Course. And in this one we will look at how to write Hello World program, and then we will move on and learn about variables. So in order to, I already have a hello world.py file. Let me delete it first of all and we will start fresh. So first create a file and we will call it hello underscore world.py. Hello underscore world. It's a good idea to not add spaces in file names. So here you can see I am having an underscore, not a space. I could do it, but it's not a good practice. So let's do hello underscore world, and PyCharm will add .py for me, so I will not include it. My file is created. Now I'm going to do hello world. The code for hello world is written on the left. Let's type it down. Hello Python world. So in order to have world, you will use the function print. The purpose of print is to simply display whatever you have written inside the parentheses, and we have written hello Python world. And whenever you are writing a piece of text, you are going to enclose it with a set of quotes. They could either be single quotes or double quotes, it doesn't matter. Python will welcome both of them, so I could do single quotes as well. I have to match them up. So right now there's a red squiggly line, it will not work, but when I have both single quotes it will work. So it could either be single or double, doesn't matter. Python hello world.py, and it showed me hello Python world. That's how you run the code. You use Python and space and the file of the name. That's the idea of hello world. Now I would recommend you to play around with this code. Try to make P uppercase and see if that works. For example, it already gives you a red squiggly line saying you can't do it, but it's a good idea to try and see what happens. Try to add a bunch of spaces here. Does that work? Let's run it. Yes, that works indeed, but now we have a green squiggly line. That means that doesn't look good. Although it will work, but that doesn't look good. So I can use the feature reformat the file, and PyCharm will remove some of the mistakes that I made, and it fixed it. So let's move on to the next section, which is variables. Now, let me explain a little bit about what variables are before we can move on and read the book. Now, variables, they allow us to store data in our program. That's one way to say it, or you can say variables are labels used to reference data. That's another way to say the same thing. Variables are labels, or I can say they are labels used to reference data. You can just say variable is a name. Variable is a name. There are several ways to define it. I think this is good enough. In order to create a variable, we use a name. So let's say message, and then we use the equal sign. We call it the assignment operator. And then we store data. In this case, we can do hello Python world. Hello Python world. Now, in order to create a variable, that's how you do it. Name equal to value. And now I can print, instead of saying hello Python world, I can print message. Now you see, now it is not inside quotes. When what we write is not inside quotes, it's a variable. Now when we print message, it will actually display what is stored in message, what message is set to. Message is set to hello Python world. So it will actually have the same impact. It will have the same impact. Python hello world. Now you might say, well, what's the difference? Well, now the difference is that I can print message as many times as I want. And if I want to change the message, I will only need to change it once from the top. See, isn't that better? If it wasn't this like this, if I didn't had a message, I would have to paste it. How do I select? How do I select? Well, anyways, I would have to paste it at all of these locations, and if I wanted to change it, I would have to change it like this, one by one. Hello Python world. Which is not a good idea. So the idea of variable is that you can store your data at one location and then you can use it wherever you want. That's the basic idea. Now let's use our variable message, and let's get rid of the other ones, and let's paste it. Run it again. Now other than storing information, you can also change it. So first I have put hello world. I can print it, but I can add something else as well. I can do goodbye. Now, as you know, Python reads our code from top to bottom. First it will see the message. First it will see the variable message. It will display it. Then it will see that we have updated our message to goodbye. Then it will print the updated message. Let's run it and show you what I mean. Hello world, goodbye. Now you can read read the text from the left. It is explaining the same ideas that I just talked about. But the next very important part is naming our variables. There are some rules you will need to abide by when you are naming your variables. For example, you can't just say my message, because now there's a space. Spaces are not allowed in variable names. In order to use multiple words, what we normally do, we use an underscore. Actually, an underscore is welcomed, underscore is allowed. So I have renamed my variable my message. Now you can see the reason we have a red squiggly line. Now Python doesn't know what message is. Up to this point, Python doesn't know. If we move down, now it sees we have created a message and we are printing it, but up to this point it doesn't know. That's why it is giving you an error. Now we can rename our message and it will work. So basically you cannot use the spaces. That's rule number one. And the second rule, that is, I would say that's the most important one, that you can only use letters, numbers, and underscores. Cannot start with a number. that's the requirements for creating a variable name. You can use letters, numbers, and underscore. So you can do num1 equal to 1. 1 num equal to 1 will not work because now it's starting with a number. You could use both uppercase and lowercase num1 equal to 2, although it's case sensitive, so these are two different variables. You could use all caps, you could do all lower. So these are all allowed. You can use letters, numbers, and underscores. However, you cannot start with a number, and as we have already said that you cannot use spaces in your variable names. The third idea, which is also very useful, which is that keywords are not allowed. This can get a little confusing for someone who is starting out, but it's very easy to know what a keyword is. Keywords are the words that are already defined, they have a special meaning, so we cannot use them. For example, you cannot use for. It's very easy to know what is a keyword because the keyword will always be highlighted. In this case, it's colored pink in my editor. In your editor, it might have a different color, but keywords have a distinct color. So for is a keyword, let's say if is a keyword, def is a keyword. You'll get to know them. You'll get to know them as you are learning more Python. Except is a keyword. These are keywords, you cannot use them. Keywords are not allowed, and there's an extension to this rule. Function names are not recommended. You can use function names. For example, we did print. You could do print equal to 10. Now you see there's a green squiggly line. That means it will work but not recommended. Print is a function. Input is a function. You could do these, you could use them, but they are not recommended. And your code will have problem. Obviously, if you try to do these things, your code will also have some problems later down the line. But it's recommended to not use them for now. Later you might learn more and maybe you would want to do something like this, but for now don't you do that. So yeah, these are the two very important rules. There's a last one which is not really a rule, but it is explaining that do not name your variable like a equal to 1. That's not a good idea because now we don't know what it means. So student name equal to June is better than SN equal to June because now we don't know what SN is. So it's better to be descriptive. Be short and also descriptive. Don't try to create variable names that are too long. Neither try to create names that are too short. Let's look at the last one. Avoiding name errors when using variables. Now let's see what a name error is. I'm going to remove everything. So name error is basically when Python cannot find a variable, and this happens when we mistype a variable name. So let's see, in this case we missed the s. There should be double s, but we missed it. Now Python is saying, hey, I don't know what this variable is, and if we run it, it will not work. If we run it, we will get an error called name error. What you should know is every error has a name and a description. So what we got in this case is a name error, and the description is name message is not defined. Did you mean message? Wow, isn't it smart? It can actually tell us that maybe we meant to say this, but we mistyped it, which is exactly the case. We mistyped our variable, our variable name. Now let's try to run it again, and it works. Now, one more thing to notice is that Python doesn't know English. So, for example, you could misspell your message and it would still work. What matters is that it has to match up. There are no complaints here because Python doesn't know English. You could break your English grammar when writing code, Python will not care. So, you could even remove the last t if you want to, just to prove my point even further. For example, you could remove r from world. All of those cases will actually work because Python doesn't know what English is. You can break your English inside code. What matters is that things match up. Now you might say, well, can I can I misspell print? Actually, you cannot. Print is a function. You could say it's a keyword, but it's technically not a keyword, but you have to type it exactly like this because now it's part of Python. You are commanding Python, hey, print the message. If you misspell it, now Python doesn't know what print is. Python doesn't know what pre is. Python doesn't know what pr is. So it has to be print exactly like this because that's part of Python. So I guess this is it for this video, and in the next one we will see the try it out yourself sections. These are very small exercises that the book has at the end of each section that allows us to practice what we learned. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.